The Kenyatta family legacy is one that has left many Kenyans and the international community intrigued over the years since independence, from the illegal acquisition and grabbing of massive hectares of land to the trade in baby elephant ivory tusks. The monopoly in the agricultural, transport, banking and mass media communication to the secret offshore accounts in the Maldives, Cayman Islands, and the British Virgin Islands, as recently confirmed by the published Pandora Papers. These offshore accounts were initiated by the founding father of the Kenyan nation, Jomo Kenyatta, who is also said to have betrayed the Mau Mau, who were the Kenyan freedom fighters fighting against the white British imperialists. He is also known to be the initiator of tribal board rations and grand corruption during his 15-year tenure as the President of the Republic of Kenya. His son Jomo Kenyatta, who is the current President of Kenya, has followed in his father's footsteps. The family, which has large interest in the agricultural sector, has driven many a Kenyan farmers through a lot of financial loss, pain, and agony through the monopoly and manipulation of the milk industry. Small-scale dairy farmers in Kenya have been complaining of high cost of production and low cost in returns.
Tungeuza maziwa yetu at 35 bob per liter. Lakini sahi unapata maziwa inanunuliwa at 20 bob. Na hii 20 bob unapata mkulima kama hata tuseme ajitahidi sana, cost of production itakuwa 25 bob. Sasa utawezaje uza maziwa at 20 bob yet cost of production yake iko 25 bob? Mkulima mwenzangu, Mheshimiwa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, najua tuko kwa hii industry pamoja. Wakulima wenzangu, mahali penye huko, chukua lita yako moja, lita yako tatu, na onyeshe mbunge wako na rais wetu kwamba sisi wakulima wa maziwa tumechoka.
Coffee farmers had to cut down their coffee trees after they were forced to sell their coffee for $0.044 for a kilo or 5 shillings. The Kenyan government, even after the coffee farmers' woes, did nothing to address the small-scale farmers' plight in the coffee industry, opting to support the rich farmers in the coffee industry, most of whom are close to the presidency or directly linked to the cartels in the same industry.
Kwa sababu malipo ni mbaya. Shilingi 5 kwa kilo si pesa ya kusimamia mboma.
This scandal is President Kenyatta's scandal. You have reached what he knows when he knew it, and what he did when he knew it.
A new report recently emerged probing Kenya's COVID-19 cash program, where the Kenyan government's cash transfer program failed to protect most of the vulnerable people who disproportionately suffered the economic fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic. A report released by Human Rights Watch alleges that political leaders funneled most of the COVID funds to friends, relatives, and supporters. Enrolled participants received less money than promised, and the implementation of the program was shrouded in secrecy, as observed by the East African Human Rights Watch observed. The president, who announced a cash transfer program in the early months of the pandemic to cushion the most vulnerable households in society, allowed government officials, including one member of parliament, people in the governor's office and senior officials in the nation's ministries, to register their families, friends, and their supporters, some with state jobs, to siphon the monies, allowing the government officials to bypass the criteria that had been laid down, selecting their own friends and relatives, some of whom are vying for elective posts in the upcoming general elections. The project, later dubbed the KEMSA COVID Millionaires by newspapers and international media, narrowed down to a few individuals, starting from Kenya's current president Uhuru'S Kenyatta's siblings, Richard Natia, the current chairman of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, who's also vying for the Nairobi gubernatorial seat, a greedy presidential confidant, and mafia David Murray, just to mention but a few, who are all supporting the bid for the former opposition's leader's Raila Odinga's presidential bid, just to cushion and hide their looted public wealth. With the upcoming general elections on August 9th this year, a lot of leadership questions linger in the people's mind, free and fair elections being the big question. Currently, the former opposition leader Raila Odinga is battling it out with the current Kenyan Deputy President, Dr. William Ruto, for the presidency. Majority of Kenyans whose livelihood is pegged on less than $1 a day feel cheated and are now drumming up a huge support for the deputy president and his United Democratic Alliance party, whose economic model of advancement is the bottom-up approach geared towards empowering the less fortunate economically. Most Kenyans feel that electing Raila Odinga and his Azimio party will be re-electing the current president indirectly, whose legacy is marred by grand corruption, impunity, nepotism and tribalism. The people feel that the president is drumming up support for Raila Odinga so that he can continue operating under his shadow, thus putting their trust in Dr. William Ruto through his United Democratic Alliance, in whom they feel safe and trust that he will move the country to the next level and alleviate poverty that has been enshrined in the Kenyan people since independence.